Hello and welcome to part two of All Things Virtual Marketing with Bob Spence. We left you hanging with the tools to use at the end of part one. So here are the tools to use to make your virtual marketing more effective. Back over to you to where you were in full flow and other gems for us to think about.
Well, it's essentially business development because rainmaking, sourcing clients, making connections, all that kind of good stuff, which in the United Kingdom is definitely, and certainly in London, has been the chamber mixers, speaking events, networking events, specific things where you've got the chance to interact. So you've got that, and then you've got the use of I'll name it the platform LinkedIn. Those seem to be the two environments that many people are familiar with. Seems to have happened is there's a considerable or a disproportionate amount of people have jumped onto LinkedIn as some kind of marketing channel. I know myself, nearly every time I open it up, there's a whole stack of things, and I'm even I feel badly about this, looking at stuff to disconnect from because I just don't have the bandwidth to read all this good stuff. So that's happened, and there hasn't really been an operational method for people to use the webcam to start developing new contacts, relationships, and connections. And part of that could be culture. It could be British Reserve in doing that. It could be people don't know how to, or it could be it's the kind of thing that you do if you're at the golf club or whatever, but not something you do through a camera. But technically, it goes something like this. So, for example, I've had the privilege of seeing Mark in action, doing the terrific role play. So I know him. We've broken bread. So I might think, okay, Mark's in a similar marketplace to what I'm trying to do in London. Let's reach out to Mark. I can use LinkedIn this way. I can see, okay, Mark seems to be active in those areas. Those areas are similar to mine. Reach out to Mark via email and basically talk to Mark the way I would do if we were meeting in Costa Coffee or having a glass of wine off Oxford Street. It's just the same thing. Yeah. It's just people aren't used to doing that.
Bob, before we got into lockdown, I know you were very, very adamant that people don't make enough of their existing connections and contact bases, and you had this phrase that your existing client can actually be introducing you to your next client. Does that whole sort of approach still stack up in the online world?
I think it stacks up more than ever in the online world. I mean, essentially, you're only one handshake away from your next best client. But that handshake now has to take place through the camera because, the best clients that you've got are the ones that can vouchsafe how reliable you are, how commercially astute that you are, what it's like to work with you. But they can confirm that, which the online marketing channels can't do that. So certainly, Barry, I would be looking at who are the clients that are absolutely satisfied with what I've done in the past, that are in the same footprint that I want to tread into right now, because those are the ones that are going to be the ones that have got the best connections. And they can say, look, I've used this guy before. He's definitely worth 30 minutes of your time on Zoom. He definitely is. I've used him before. What's the worst thing that can happen? You don't even have to leave your office now to meet him. And the great thing is now, get this, Nigel. Now you can say, look, you can meet through a camera, and at the end of the 30 minutes, that's the end of the 30 minutes. It's not like they're in your office and you got to show them the door or something.
I see what you did there, by the way, Bob. You used the egg timer on me.
You're right, man. You're right.
Well, I just pick up on LinkedIn. I've over the years, I think we all use LinkedIn, but I've always made a point of only really accepting LinkedIn connections from people that I've met or know other people well that I know. So I don't accept relatively extraneous connections. Or if they look interesting, I'll say, yeah, I'll connect, but can we meet on Zoom or can we meet face to face? What's your view on accepting all connections, or should we be doing what I do?
I think yours is the best practice for the new normal. I must confess, I was kind of laissez-faire because there's almost like a social etiquette involved. Oh, okay. Whereas now, I can't speak for the rest of you guys on the call, but like LinkedIn's kind of crazy for people reaching out to each other on the flimsiest basis possible. And I'm also kind of wary that most of the reach outs now are definitely followed up by some kind of soft and hard marketing follow through. And I can't speak for you. I'm just too busy for it. Not I'm ignorant to it, but hey, I know people that do this. Don't you think I already know someone that does that?
Yeah, exactly. There's no connection. You know, I had one, I'm sure recently, you know, hi, I'm reaching out to you because, you know, I thought you might need something which was fairly obvious that I didn't need because I'm running a niche law firm.
But you don't know, do you? Now, I still adopt this policy, but I'm interested in, again, coming back to Australia, there are only two people that I've, two businesses that I've acted for totally remotely. And they're probably, dare I say, equally remote. One in the sort of northern territories of Australia, and Mark and I both acted for in a deal in London. And the other one was in Lincolnshire, which is perhaps almost as remote. I don't know. I'm upsetting a whole load of people in Lincolnshire now.
Apologies, Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, to make that process work, you've got to have a game plan, and also make the ask reasonable and make the ask rehearsed. You know, don't just randomly say, you know, can you introduce me to somebody? What I've also found, and this may not be true of everything, that because this is all kind of new, you kind of got more opportunities now for breaking the ice with people than you had before. Because it's less time consuming because it's through a camera. And there's also this whole moment so weird that people are more open-minded if it's relevant to give someone 5 or 10 minutes. So it's an opportunity.
Of time. Loads of stuff there that will be useful to our coffee break people and for us actually as well. So
I think so, yes.
Using chat more. But yeah, no, that's been great.
So hands up, those of us who wish Bob had this chat with us 4 months ago.
Yes. Well, that brings us to the end of part 2 of All Things Virtual Marketing with Bob Spence. Watch out for part 3 coming to a laptop near you shortly.